how to deal with disappointment. I know, that's a big topic to tackle, but nonetheless, I'm planning on doing that, and that's what I'm going to do. And it's no secret, if you haven't figured it out already, I'm in a wheelchair. I'll show you. Yeah. I'm in a wheelchair. And so the topic disappointment is very frequent. Disappointment is very frequent when it comes to people that are disabled, because we experience that quite often. I have been disappointed in the past. Yeah. But how do I deal with it? Let me give you an example. You know, when I started on this journey on YouTube, I saw all these other artists creating great content and being very successful at it. And I was like, oh, that's great. I could do that too. So I went out, got cameras, went out, got some software, editing software, and I did what they did, not to the extent of as good as they were, but I went out and did it, and I edited it and put it on the YouTube, and I'm like, alright, it's coming, just wait for it, it's coming. And it never came. Never. You know, if you look at my fan base, or, I'm sorry, the subscribers, you'll notice that I don't have that many subscribers, and most of them are gone anyhow, so it's really lower than what it actually is. So when I look at that, it disappointed me. You know, I've been on the YouTubes for about, what, 5 years now? I started in 07. 6 years. Wow, 6 years, I think. Is that right? I'm not good with my math. But nonetheless, I was disappointed until I took a step back and I looked and I analyzed and I said to myself, wait a second. I did all these things to prepare myself to be successful on YouTube. I created content. But what I didn't realize is I was bettering myself for the future. I may not have been successful on YouTube, but I was successful on YouTube. How? Because all my stuff all the things that I created, it did basically make me successful. Not monetarily, but what came out of it? Well, I'm now able to work with a local wrestling show here in Indiana, and it was because of what I did on YouTube. That's why they saw my abilities because of YouTube, because of this. So they saw it and they were like, all right, well, you know, we'd like you to work with us. And so, in effect, I was successful on YouTube. It was just what I had to look at it in a different perspective. So that brings me to the next thing. Some of you may be disappointed in an outcome like girlfriend and boyfriends. You might be disappointed because you didn't get the girl or you didn't get the guy, and you were really, really hoping for that to happen, and it didn't take place. It didn't transpire the way you thought it was going to. But let me ask you, let me just ask you to do this. take a step back from the disappointment, from the hurt in your hearts, and think to yourself, what did you do in the process of building up to that? You had to change some things, I would suspect. You may have gone out and bought yourself new clothes. You may have gone out and, gotten a haircut. You may have gotten, teeth, like me. I went out, I fixed my teeth to better myself. And what I'm saying is, what did you do to better yourself? So in the long run, as you were building up to this possible outcome that you thought was going to be beneficial to you, but it didn't happen the way you thought, you made yourself better in the process. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys, is to look at it how you bettered yourself, what you did to better yourself. And I'm just going to say this. Think about it. If it took that, you've already accomplished greater goals than you can, even though you weren't successful at what you initially set out to do. So that's how I deal with disappointment. Yeah, I get sad. And if anybody says, "Oh no, I don't get sad after disappointment," well, they're not really telling the truth. They're not really telling the truth. But it's what you do afterwards. It's how you analyze. I analyze it. And I think to myself, what do I do? Well, how did this better myself? What was the initial outcome? What was the official outcome, I should say? And, always look positive. Always look on the positive side. Always try and figure out what you did to better yourself. Because you tried something. You did something to better yourself. So just look at it. And sit back and say, you know what? I did better myself. Yeah, it might not have come out the way I thought. But in the long run, I'm better off. And I'm grateful that it transpired the way it did. So I hope that helped you out a little bit, guys and gals. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of No Limitations. And I hope you enjoy the new direction, the new vision I have for this show. And, well, I have a lot more topics I would like to discuss with you in future shows. So look forward to that. So with that being said, like I always do, every show, I'd like to close the same way. Always walk by faith and not by sight. If you do that, you truly will have no limitations. Until next time, goodbye.